my art not showing up. And now I'm going to be doing some artwork, I guess. And I don't know why I'm trying to get any more preamble out of the way. I'm working on a comic page here for the graphic novel that I've talked about, Black Feathers. I guess I really don't mind sharing. I don't mind sharing. I'm sure I mind some sharing somewhere. But I'm going to be doing some pages that I haven't yet inked. I'm going to try and keep them mostly spoiler-free. We'll see how well that goes. And then I'm going to do some general monster artwork as well. So if you really want to get my attention, doing one of the little icons that makes sound will be the best way. But I'm doing this all on my iPad with the Procreate app. Just don't want you guys. Yes, look at my screen. All right. I don't mind if you see behind my damn screen. Now the brush that I'm using, let me drop this down here, is the syrup brush. It really tends to lend itself to how my brush strokes look. I use a, let me see if my actual art set is here. 1 second. I think I have my box of magic over here. Huh. Oh well. The brush that I use is a Pentel something or other. It's a literal brush pen. You can get refill cartridges for them, but I really like the aesthetic and the feel that it provides. I'm always trying to make my stuff look in the style that. Uh-oh. What happened? Is it not working now? Shit, why isn't it working? I did a whole test and everything. Oh. But you can't see me doing any edits. Man, this is aggravating. Okay. I just needed to be unplugged and plugged back in. Imagine that. So... oh, it's oriented like this still. This music is by Monument Studios, but, I'm glad we fixed that. The brush that I'm using is Syrup. It looks a lot like the aesthetic that I'm trying to evoke right now. A big influence of my artwork is Jeff Smith from Bone and Yasuhiro Naitao from Trigun. Not super similar, but it's what it is. What it is. And a lot of these lines aren't gonna. I'm not happy with these lines that I put down for the sketch layer. So you can see down here at the bottom, these are like different layers. I have this as like an animation until I take it off. But this way I can see the other layers that I've drawn. But these sketch layers right here that I have down by this character with the knife, Breo's cape, they're just a little too vague and they don't actually work for the perspective that I'm trying to go for. So I'm just putting in some really rough lines, and I'm alright with me having to like erase them for other things. Oh man, yeah, see. He's got to be recessing. Need to fix that cut. Oh no, I think that's right. So let's do the cut line. That's where the tip will be. So we can do backwards. We got the weapon. And here he is that his left hand? No, he would use his right hand. That looks better to me than this. But I still don't like how overlapped he is with the monster. So let's make sure we line up with the cut. And I like that his cape I like that the cape kind of bleeds into the monster's body, so that the point is that it's trying to... Here, let me do... Boop. So whenever you're, like, arranging your panels on a comic book page, and that if you've read books on how to draw comics, if you've written books on how to draw comics, first of all, if you're watching my channel, fucking thanks. But, you know, you're always trying to... I don't want to say control, but control the viewer's eye to where it's like you don't want them just hairy-carry going X, Y, and Z places all over the page. You want to guide them with word bubbles and sort of the flow of action. Sometimes people will drink coffee, but sometimes before people even like put out the sketch here, they'll just do like blocks of action, but it's like, it just feels like that's a step you could kind of incorporate into other things. But so because I'm writing this for a Western audience, I'm planning on people reading, whoops, turned that all the way down, people reading left to right. But because it's also a comic page, they're going to be reading top to bottom, and so that actually gives me a little bit of wiggle room on how I can arrange things, and then actually what I just showed here is exactly what I did. But so something I need to fix here is I want Breo, this character with the knives, to be coming down at the creature. But the problem is the composition of this side. Everything's too chunky because I want words. I'll show you what I mean in a second. I'll flip this guy around. This gives a better sense of kind of how high he is, too, if it's that. You know what? If he's that big, I can drop him. I didn't think it would be as Renaissance music-y when I played this, but this is where we are. So Breo's whole thing is shadow magic. That's not any spoilers or anything. That's just how he operates. This is like the second chapter, which is a two-parter in terms of how it is in terms of the story flow. Now you guys don't have to be down my shirt as much. So, you know, he mentions that he can do shadow magic. We kind of see him do it in the first chapter. And then this is the second chapter where we see it in use. Check something real quick. Okay. Just wanted to make sure everything was working. Anyway, Jesus Lord, this is way too thin ice. Traveler. Whoa. Yeah, give me something. Holy crap. Anyway, so the reason that I moved this guy over here is because we'll just add one more frame. It was, in terms of where all the action was, it was going to be words, 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 and then just literally, like, you know, literally, like, all of the visuals. Which is fine if there's some, like, throwaway stuff, like maybe there's a character here to remind us where the proximity of everything is. But nothing big in the story has happened yet, so it makes no sense that I'm just, like, front-loading all of this when it could be more exciting to arrange things differently. So we made the spider smaller. Now what we've done is we've put the visuals here and here with words kind of bridging them. And the words are going to be kind of in like shadowy colors because he's in a shadow form. And then he's going to poof out of his shadow form. And then we're going to see that he's like dropping, very Nightcrawler-esque. The character that Breo is inspired by is one of my old childhood friends who helped me come up with the story way back when. It's not what I wanted. And so sorry, anyway, it can't be connected. Because it doesn't make any sense. Okay, I guess if he poofs out of shadow here, and like I said, very Nightcrawler-esque, because the person that Breo is inspired by, my childhood friend, their favorite X-Man is Nightcrawler. And he always played Nightcrawler-esque characters in literally every game we have ever played together. You know, stealthy, sneaky, if you can turn into shadow and sneak in shadow magically, fucking perfect. That's what I wanted. And so when I was kind of redesigning their character, I did this. So if I make their kind of shadow bamf here, flip this around. and his words aren't necessarily connected. Oh shoot, you know what? I actually kind of like that though. Now we can make him smaller. He can keep that. And the word bubbles will be more like that. And then we have... I'm going to put it in parentheses, BAMF. Because I'm 90% sure that is copyright. I am going to erase those balloons, though, so I know this is more what I'm working with. He just summoned a swarm of little spiderlings, so we'll have those kind of in the background skittering away from this guy. Alright. Erase that. All that other stuff is drawn. Where was I? Doop boop. That one. Inked, inked, inked. It's really just that. Alright, let's see if I can... see if I still got it. Let's see if I can freehand this. Now, something that I'm not trying to... like, I'm not trying to... Here we go. Look like, you know, John Romita. Or Jim Lee. I'm trying... this is my own style. Is it going to be perfect? There's going to be some things where you're going to see there's artistic license taken, where it might be a little bit more cartoony, and that's just how I draw. So, and again, like I said, if something is really wonky, I can fix it. It's digital. It's pretty easy. But for the most part, I'll explain why I'm not worrying so much on it being like a Renaissance painting level of aesthetic, other than my two influences are not that. Man, those really make his ears look like elf ears. He's not an elf. Better. Whoa, that's really long hair. His hair is not that long. It's got like a little part. Yeah. I guess I did kind of make the guide hair that long, didn't I? Alright, give him some action face lines. Is he alright with that? Can I fix it by adding more details? Sometimes, but not often. Yeah, see, because I overdid it over here. I'm overthinking a little tiny piece of a thing. As a teenager, he is not that super heroic in musculature. Oops. Where are your fucking legs? One is totally hidden behind you. The other... That does not look like a leg. Whoops! Do we give it the old Rob Liefeld special? I think the foot needs to be pointing back. That's the problem. It might just be that. Because if the foot's back here, at the very least we might see that. Yeah, that looks good. Hello, cat. Oh no, there's no room for you up here. I'm sorry. I apologize. Alright. This guy's a little bit big. Just a tiny bit. This music's... Yeah, downtime piano. Good lord. The blood I'm going to do on its own other layer once I start coloring these. Just because I want it to stand out. If I need to fix anything on the blood, if I need to fix anything on the line work, I can just do that without interrupting the blood, which is supposed to, you know, for this panel right here especially, should be a... not iconic's not the word, but it should be stand out. There should be something that accentuates it in terms of how it's perceived on the panel. Before I do that, because that was the biggest one of that page that I was worried about. So this is a long This is a long story. These aren't even all the chapters that I plan on writing, but chapter 1 here, chapter 2 here, all the way up to chapter 5 here. Those are all in the first volume that I'm working on. Originally, you can see that there's a lot more down here, like a chapter 7, things that don't even have chapter names yet. I added chapters 1 and 2 maybe 2 months ago. They each have over like 30 pages in them each, and as you can see, like, these aren't just simple, like, this is one of the first pages in chapter 1. It's not just like detailless. Oh no, did I lose it again? Don't mind my cat. Let's try it this way. Here we go. All right. Like I was saying, these aren't detailless pieces of artwork. You know, there's... Oh man, it does not like when I open this one up. Might be time for a new capture card if this keeps happening. Holy cow. We're just not going to open that one. Okay. So we're not going to open that one. We're just going to zip on out of that. Oh, I was just in chapter 1. Alright, let's see if this breaks the internet. Yeah, it doesn't like when I close out. Okay. Starting to learn the lesson here. Thank you very much, Dylan. Yeah, I'm really proud of that one. That one took me a few hours watching some B-rate horror movies on Netflix and my Fire Stick. But because I'm not just like putting little, just tiny bits of detail into some of these things, some of these pages can take a long time. Like a full page. If I have everything like really clearly sketched out and the colors aren't insane, especially if it's an action page. I know that might sound weird, but action pages are so much easier to draw. And that might just be a me thing. But when I have like big dialogue pages, that could take me just hours, because it's finding ways to visually make people just talking bullshit to each other interesting to look at. Like my quintessential example of, and I haven't even read this series, but I know the reference most people will get. It's the Death Note of like, and then I'll take a potato chip, and then I'll eat the potato chip. Like, it's that level of what you got to think about of how do I present this, what would be boring to watch but has very important information, something that needs to be conveyed. Sometimes you actually need the visuals to just be important, so you got to make sure you include little details you hope that people might catch if they're paying attention. Like, I'm probably gonna have to unplug and plug this thing back in. Yes, you got your hands on Eye Shield. I'm so happy you did. Are you reading or watching? Where did I have it cut in? Oh no, I shouldn't have done that. Yep, I knew that was gonna happen. It's alright, I just need information on one. Oh, I did put it on the cheek. Okay, back to that page. It's a fun one. I can't remember if they finished the game against the Cupids in Volume 1, or if that's a Volume 1 and Volume 2 sort of thing.
Come on, you bastard.
Here we go. Alright. What did I just erase? That's actually closer to what I was trying to do. Make that a little bit bigger. As long as I don't turn the opacity down. Okay, and then I've got a cut line here that is important for visuals and ugh. Oh, hi. What? You don't need to go outside, dude. I feel like the side of this face should be more extreme. I flattened it out too much. Yeah. That looks more anatomically correct. You know, anatomically correct for a giant spider human thing. Nope, we're not about to put on this ritualistic. Damn, man. And I got no, like, chill vibes. Oh, shit.
What does your video sound like? Go to artlist.io and get the
Yeah, that's what we wanted.
sound effects for your video.
Hell yeah. There we go. Yeah, baby. Alright, I'm feeling it. Okay, great. There'll be speed lines behind him. Yeah, and some flubber. Man, it said this music is royalty free. I sure hope so. Alright, the whole point is Brayo gets the jump on him, so he's not looking. I'm zooming in so far for details that are like... I'm clearly being very liberal with my brush strokes. Sorry, brush strokes. Oh, I am really out of frame. There we go. Oh, I can look at my dirty ass table now. The dungeon screen, that covers up the horrors. I was just thinking about what you said, Dylan, off of my, what'd you call it? My comment about not being anatomically correct for a fantasy creature. Because otherwise it would look strange, but, like, there is something to that, you know? It's like, I hate it when in, like, TTRPGs, or even in any fantasy story, people will argue, like, don't get caught up so much on, like, the physics of it, man. There's dragons and wizards. It's like, yeah, but you have to understand that there is a certain, pardon me, there is a certain level of real world physics that has to go into it. There's some things that we can ignore. There's some things that magic lets us get around. But that's kind of the point. It's not just like, well, you have to ignore it. It's how do we ignore it? It's not that, say, a creature as large as a dragon shouldn't be able to fly with wings. But what it does mean is, like, they probably have to use magic with which to, like, aid them in flying. Which is what I think numerous sources have accounted for. And it's just one of those things to where if you think about it too long, you're going to go, well, that doesn't make sense, even though it's a fantasy world. And I think there are some things, like, if his thumbs and fingers don't line up correctly, it's gonna look weird, you know? Even if it's a three-fingered, thumbed, clawed monster hand, if they still don't work like a hand is supposed to, even if it's, like, 3 prongs and it holds on to something, you know, like this, and, like, one is a thumb, it still has to work mechanically. If it's just, like, a flibbity gibbet of, like a wet chicken knuckle holding on to something, that's your brain is gonna send it into the uncanny valley. Like his face right now, I don't like how it's kind of like flattened out. I need to angle it more, but I'll fix that after I get this. I give him like a, what do you call them, like camel spider. Once it gets past the abs, that weird kind of like, you know, like double, like elongated abs almost till it bleeds into the spider body. I don't know how else to say it. These legs would be out more, the way spiders hold themselves. Like that. These would be... It's gotta be out to like here. Can I still flip it? No, that wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, we'll keep it there, but now we can have Braille kind of more showcased right here. Bloop. Put you up a little bit. Even angle you so I can drop you down a little and make you more center. Cool, 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 cool. Boo. The most aggravating thing about this character's weapons is he has backwards facing daggers. Thorax, that is the word. And so when he slashes down, so he has backwards facing daggers, so he holds them like this. And so when he's coming in to slash, I have to decide, is he coming to slash with the blade facing out or the blade facing in, because it depends on what his, what the goal is. And I always have to, like, hesitate and think. I have it drawn one way here, but I think in the next shot, yeah. He's... Excuse me. Ugh. Mute. So anyway, while we're waiting for this, there we go. Okay. So he has the blade out like this. Oh, because he's coming for a through slash instead of a stab. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's more dramatic to have his foot outside. So then, let's just pull the cape. Think, let me just sort of indicate where some of these little spider guys are going to go. Now I can take this layer away and this layer away. We're almost done. just gonna set the scene a little bit here. They're in ruins, so... Put an old building here. Okay. Gugh. That looks good. That looks good! I am gonna do one more frame where I kinda... Oh, wait, I've got a... Pro artist... I spent a little bit too much money one summer on special brushes, but some of them give me these nice John Kirby lines. I think they're called John Kirby energy bubbles. John Kirby dots. He would use these for like energy in a lot of his books. And while I have used them, gosh, it was so much easier to find a brush that did it for me. I kind of like the idea of shadow magic being... Low power mode already? Shit. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the distort feature. Ooh, hold on. We'll add some more colors and stuff behind that. Time and money, therefore more Kirby dots equals better investment. Exactly. Alright, what do we got here? So we're going to take this out. And now I think we can remove animation assist. Boom, baby! Look at that! There we go. The hell? What the hell? Where is that even on a layer? Oh, that's when I was trying to show the flow. Got it, got it. Okay. I don't need that layer. Now that I'm looking at this layer needs to be on distort. A little bit smaller picture for word bubbles. Oh, no. Wrong brush entirely. Syrup. We'll just have a few more details that are now visible. Oh, yeah, I wanted to fix his face. Jesus, what happened here? Alright. Now that I've just signed the death warrant on this thing freezing up for a bit, I am going to let it charge. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Then I'm going to let it charge. And then we'll find something else to do while it charges, and then I'll come back to it later. But that's great. I'm very happy about that because I actually just added that page. Let me see. I just added... Where's the page that we just did? This page right here 2 days ago. I sketched it out. I did the light inks that we saw today yesterday, and then today I just jumped right into the inks. But that had a very clear... Oh, let me see if this doesn't freeze on me. Okay, so I don't know if it'll let me zoom... Okay, it won't let me zoom in, but this is a hand-drawn example of... You can let Braddock know what he missed on Sunday. Hell yeah, I will let Braddock know what he missed on Sunday. I would actually love to go over some of that. But this is an example of kind of how I start all of my comic book most of my comic book pages. The good comic book pages, the ones that I get through quickly, are the ones that start with this. Me hand drawing these little thumbnails. These pictures aren't bigger than this on the page. So I can sketch really fine, kind of rough details on it with, I choose a mechanical pencil. And you can see kind of over to the side of this that there's, some writing, and that's where I put, panel 1, this is happening, they say this, panel 2, and it's just little scribbles, where, represent where the word bubbles are. And it's from this, you guys saw me actually kind of tracing over some of this stuff in the previous page, which was also done like this, which is why I've been getting through these other ones so quickly. Exactly. It's storyboarding. This is, you can get these blue line, I'll find some of those when I get back from the break too, to show you kind of what they look like physically. But you can get them in bulk, you can get them at art stores, you can get them sometimes at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, but you can definitely get them at art stores. I love them. I think they're great. I'm one of those people that can't get scribble the idea out digitally. But when it comes to translating this to a finalized piece of artwork, I'd prefer to do it digitally just because I can fix mistakes better if I'm going to do a comic book page. I have a ton of hand-drawn comic book pages and I love them, but I can do, the whole shebang in one. Yeah. Brian gets it. Alright, cool. So I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to get my charger and bring it down here so it can charge while we go over some D&D nerdy talk stuff. And after my iPad charges for a little bit, we'll do some more... Actually, you know what? This page would probably be fine to ink too, but I kind of want to just do a monster... Just a good old Runa monster artwork. But we'll be right back after my old man knees creak and crack. Oh! Did you hear it? Did you hear it, Harry? Your knees are over 30. Alright. We'll be back.
Meet Asana, a work management platform that helps companies get more done and save more time. Teams can stay connected while they track updates and visualize timelines. Asana, a smarter way to work. Try it for free today at asana.com.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. I got Lauren Mike. That's hilarious. Yeah, I hadn't let me see. Snowball. I specifically named this one so I don't fuck with any of John's audio setup. So let me add that as a source so this doesn't fuck up for me. Hey ho, what do you know? Look at that. And now I'm curious why... Hold on. Can you guys hear the music? Did I mute it? That's weird. That's so strange to me that you guys can't. Huh. I guess some quiet music is better than no music. I'll just turn it up. It's just been some lo-fi stuff. Man, I'm sorry. I thought you guys were chilling out with me, but for some reason the music's not. Oh! How about now? There we go. There we go. It was turned way down. I did the silly thing. But anyway, we had, yeah. I was like, wait a minute, that's turned way down for volume control. I saw this tiny little like green bead trying so hard to be heard. So I didn't mean to turn into Braddock to tell Braddock what happened. But on our last Sunday game, we had our fighter who is kind of like the dad of the group. It didn't really start that way, but it kind of turned into that. Just how the group dynamics formed, like kind of molded themselves. And it's not like the group is less responsible without him there, because there's an equally, if not more responsible member. At least one while Liz is gone, but when Liz comes back, her and Talani and Mort are both very responsible characters for the most part. As much as Braddock, I consider them on the same like spectrum in terms of moral polarity. But it was, I think, because I was thinking about this before our Sunday session happened, he's also the fighter. He's a rune sage, whatever they're called. Sorry, rune smith, rune carver. I call them rune sages in the runic game that I'm working on. They don't do the exact same thing, but that's all my brain can think of right now. And sorry, I saw a comment that I thought I missed. And I realized that the particular arrangement of people that we had around the table this past Sunday was the first time we had ever had that arrangement of people, players and classes within the group. Rune Knight. I'll take it. Rune Sage sounds cool. And it was interesting because we had a cleric who it's a grave cleric who, like, they are the healer of healers, but they do have a decent amount of offensive and, like, debuff options. We had the ranger, a fairly new addition to the party, in the grand scheme of things. We had the ranger with their dragon companion. It's a subclass in our book. We had, the artificer, who's, like, they're an artificer who is kind of geared very much towards, like, not like Iron Man is the inspiration, but the flavor feels like that in terms of their ability to kind of, in what they do very well, and there's a broad range of things with which they are capable of doing. And so that's why it feels like it plays out more like Iron Man than like the Rocketeer or something, and because, you know, Tony Stark has contingencies for contingencies, because you can't convince me he's not a little bit neurodivergent, and he's got, you know, plans. I don't even want to say A through Z, because that implies that he's only got 26 things prepared. And then the last one was our Paladin Bard mix. And I only say Paladin Bard mix because she, the character, they, the player, will, a little envy and a lot of paranoid. They'll rely on kind of burning through their spell slots to use for their smites. But they are still, I would say, because they've played a pure caster in the last campaign, they're very good at... The Palabard is the chaos of the group. They are the chaos of the group, but I have to give it to them. They're very good at they it's weird to think about this, but I'm thinking of like a hunter where they lay like all the trap feed around their nest, but instead of like a bow and arrow, it's just the greatsword, and she's like perched up in this tree. And like Kenny uses great, like I gotta give them like credit where credit is due. It fucks with my plan so much, but I love it. And it's like, I like to say I account for it, but I literally write Kenny's going to do something. Like, that's the fucking note in my book, because that's as best as I can. I'm like, Kenny's going to do something, and then I'll look at Sermia's page, because I know that's what they're using when they're playing it. So I'm like, okay, I can rely on maybe Wall of Fire so I can mitigate that, but they have so many spells where they're like, oh, I can't cast a Wall of Fire. Cool. Crown of Madness. Quickened Twinned Lightning Bolt, because I've been saving this thing since like level 5 and everybody forgot, including me, until I looked at my notes before this important fight, you know. And it's like they are the majesty, they are the monarch of pulling bullshit like that. And it's the best kind of bullshit for both the party and the DM, but it's because of that they are the chaos of the group. So I had them, Cleric, who's like the moral compass, especially if Braddock's not there. The Artificer, who's actually, I gotta give it to Cassidy, they don't like to get into trouble at all, if they can avoid, like, if they know that it's actually gonna get them into trouble. I'd say they actually speak out against it more often than not. And Ren, who, oh god, he plays a fox so well. He sees mischief and he's like, and he just gotta like go, he goes for it, and it's true to character. And so he plays into, especially when him and the Palabard are truly, it's a nat 20 BS for the entire campaign. But it's like when the Kitsune Ranger is left to their devices with the chaotic good, chaotic neutral, they're starting to lean towards chaotic good, but getting itchy for fights, because they know there's a power thing that they're trying to figure out how to unlock it, and I'm excited, but because of that, they're getting itchy to get into fights, so they're swaying back into chaotic neutral, I think. But for a time, especially in the last arc, they swayed more in chaotic good, I think. These 4 people were put forth with encountering a spirit known as the Tall Man, which they had heard Pray Tell speak of by this little girl ghost they had met in the previous session. Braddock, however, while he was about to leave, was summoned by the town guard of this place, the captain of this city, Morsk, and he went off, and that was our in-game way of having Braddock not be there, and they, played it accordingly. And I'll get into Braddock not being there and helping me out as a DM later. But they encountered a spirit, and it was clearly like a dark spirit. It was a dark spirit. It was tall, slender. It wasn't like, it didn't have a suit on. It wasn't Slender Man, but it had that sense of like the, like, supernaturally tall and thin and lithe, with the really long, like, tall top hat with a wide brim, and all you could see were like these like shiny white, we'll draw the tall man after this, but these tiny white, like, tall eyes, and he had this smile that would like curl up like a really creepy, like one of those old kids, like, creepy fairy tale books that I know are somewhere around here, but didn't attack them outright. And I really gotta give the Palabard credit where credit is due, because, pardon me, I 100% expected that fight that encounter to turn into a fight. I always, let me see, do I still have my notebook here? I moved it to sit down. So, we'll look at one of my older ones so you guys don't see any of my notes for this session. But, this sometimes it gets a little crazy. There's like, these are notes on like 3 different options that 3 different bosses can do, so that's why there's so many. Let me see here. Just want to find an exact example of what I'm looking for. That's intro, timeline. Oh, notes on Grailmore's village. Sadness. I'm so sorry, John, if you're watching. I forgot that was in here. Wow. We've really done a lot of shit. Oh, whoa. Sorry, I just got to the flesh dungeon. The skin place. Don't ask how I can identify everything in all my books. When I saw in Full Metal Alchemist how they write that every alchemist in their book, everything is written in a really weird code, I was like, oh, yeah, exactly. That's how I do my notes. But so like right here, I don't even think we ended up doing this encounter, but let me see if I can line this up. Here we go. Oh yeah, we didn't even end up fighting the Grailmore clones. But it says EX. And I just write that as encounter. It doesn't know what to focus on. He was there when it was written exactly. And when I write EX, that in my mind, when I'm taking my notes, when I'm playing a session, I will write encounter. And I have it in my mind as an encounter because it doesn't always have to be a fight. When I had this fairy creature show up, or this spirit show up, and I gotta give it to the credit to the entire group. Everybody has been treating this place specifically as almost like a Scooby-Doo mystery. It's fantastic. They are like, we have to get to the bottom of this mystery, not we're gonna carve our way through and like bully our way and muscle our way through. It has been honestly a treat to watch. It has been a treat to witness, because even necessarily not, I feel like, and even though Mike is truly like, as a player, I'd say probably in like the top most level-headed players at the table in terms of, I think it's because of the DMness of, well, hold on, let's think about all of our options here. There's certain times when I know he'll play true to character and be like, oh no, I'm gonna smash his fucking face in. He said the wrong thing. Even though at times we've seen he's willing to maybe work with questionable characters for the sake of the greater good. And I think this encounter might have actually been one that, if Braddock was there, because he was written to be in this place. So if Braddock was present for this, I think that it would have actually been a fight. Because it was a dark spirit, he spoke very cryptically and non-specifically, and because Braddock's a town guard, I think he might have pressed things more. And the group there, it wasn't like they disregarded, like, wow, he's speaking very cryptically. They all were literally like, wow, that was a very vague answer. Clearly not like sunshine and lollipop spirit. Could you maybe give us some more details? A further cryptic answer. And they're like, so about this deal that he put on the table for us, and they had it, they clarified right away, like, okay, this isn't a devil. A deal might not be as bad as if we made one with a devil, but they were clarified, like, what do you want out of it? What do we get out of it? And it seemed like they weighed their pros and cons. And Sirmia not only was talked down by the group multiple times, but actually talked herself down multiple times from going, like, Chaos Palabard, because everybody seemed to recognize that while this wasn't like, oh, the helpful nurse that we met earlier, like sister and altruist of one of the best friends of the group. This was like clearly not someone we want to invite to tea, and the party was like, let's see if we can like actually kind of like work some wiggle room with this guy. And they struck a deal. You know, they struck a deal. And I think if Braddock wasn't there, or if Braddock was there, I actually think that the kind of like, oh god, I'm like trying to think of like a superhero example, or like a mainstream, like, because even Superman I feel would be like, I feel like the extreme example would be like, you worked with Lex Luthor? But it wasn't, but it was like, for someone like Braddock as a town guard and how he plays his character, I feel that too many alarm bells would have gone off to where he would have at the very least been like, nah. So, actually did they turn him down in the end? I can't remember. But they seriously considered it, and I think a fight would have broken out before they considered it as far as they did. But they know that he's there, and they've let a kind of like put a deal out on the table to Braddock, or not to Braddock. They put a deal out on the table to this spirit, this boogeyman, literally, that if they take his deal, if they accept his offer of help, of information, and kind of guidance of the kind of loose strings that they're kind of trying to tie together in this mystery of him going and gathering, collecting information in his own way, that he has to kind of go with them if he can open up this grotto, this dungeon that they've discovered in the mausoleum of their friend's family home. Tempting offer, a spirit that's been here for hundreds of years, seems to have been here when the owner of the mausoleum, or the owner of this dungeon, built it in his family's mausoleum hundreds of years ago. Exactly. Come on, boys, won't you shake a poor sinner's hand? Like, that's very much that. Everybody was like, I don't want to. Are you going to shake his hand? I'm not going to be the one. It was that like, you, are you going to do it? I'm not going to do it. Are you going to do it? I'm not. You, me, you, me, you. Even the Kitsune, who normally is like, yeah, I'll do it, was like, nope, this is making my butt pucker too much, boys. I ain't interested in this little deal we got going on. And I guess I don't necessarily... It's not that... Gosh, I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like Braddock on board with Mort to kind of like support each other up is like, does this seem like a bad idea to you? Yeah, this seems like a bad idea to you. Like, Sirmia, you can hit this one. And it's like, I feel like it would have been just the scales tipped too much in a true good instead of a more neutral nature to kind of like evoke more information. Or I guess alternately, let's say this. Let's play devil's advocate here. Alternately, because Braddock was the cop, he might have played into the interrogation more. Let's say that. He might have been like, no, hold on. If we're going to do this, I really want to ask this guy some questions. We're going to actually, if we're going to ask, we're going to ask. And I could see that also have been a true, like, we're not going to agree to a deal with this guy until I can put my interrogator cap on, grab my new deputy here, and break this guy in. You know, Mort's also, I think, been an honorary deputy since, like, Session 1. or at least viewed as a peer, an equal peer to Braddock in terms of their, hey, I'm asking you as this person in the social ladder, and I'm asking you as this person in the social ladder. And I think, at least in the islands, they carry an equal amount of weight. But Braddock still carries that authority. My dogs are freaking out about something now. Let me see what our battery's at. 20%. We'll let it charge a little bit longer. Because I wanted to touch on one more topic before I draw the tall man. Oh, I know why they're barking. They just got back. They were on a run. But with Braddock gone, it also offered up a really nice opportunity to where whenever I roll into a new town, I make everybody at the table roll me a history check. The minute everybody gets there, I'm like, everybody roll me a history check. First of all, if you haven't done that for a while, it gives everybody a little bit of an active thing. Now with all their history checks, in Pathfinder, there's a knowledge local check, which is great. Still too much energy in the pups, yeah. But now with this history check, sometimes I might do a religion if there's something important religious here, or Arcana if there's a special magic thing here, maybe in nature if there's a particularly prevalent forest or mountain range. Yeah, probably all of those. But basically, within whatever roles you think could maybe apply to the table, have your people roll. And depending on what their roles are, usually I make it a base 10 for any basic amount of knowledge. Up from there, I kind of do like 11 to 15, like 16 to 20, 20 plus, and then there's like nat 20 or like anything 25 or higher. Pardon me. And I include 25 or higher because you will have people rolling that in 5e, especially in Pathfinder, and a lot of other numbers-based games as well. So I think that's a reasonable, like, secret information number, or just, like, notes that you're like, well, I don't want to give this right away. But I always have them roll this when they get right into town, so that I can literally just, like, fucking give them the plot points. Be like, hey, when you guys rolled into Morsk, I give every little breadcrumb that I'm like, here's things that you guys as players can check out that might be interesting, instead of just dropping them into town and being like, you know nothing, go explore this town. So I went, there's some small shops here if you guys want to shop around. So immediately I know there's like 2 to 3 people in the group. There's always one, if not 2, who are like, yes, I want to shop, if there's somewhere here to shop. And sometimes there's a third kind of wild card revolving cast member that always goes along. So if there is a shopping thing or like an item thing, I know that at least 2 characters are interested in that. So if those 2 players roll high, I'll give them a little bit of that. If that special stuff is in... I guess it's not even necessarily those players. I know things that my characters and players all want to know. People like to know about items, and regardless. People like to know about special ores and special materials, because we have at least one crafter, but we have 2 people, I'd say, who kind of dabble in it as well. So anything about crafting or ores or materials, they're like, ooh. There's people who like to buy, sell, and trade things, and so if there's somebody or a place or materials with which to do those things with here, they like to know about that. Anything religious. Good lord. Lloyd. Anything religious. We've got a cleric and other characters who dabble in the religious aspects of the world, or like to know about the religions in certain places because they know they can get special information from said clerics there. So if, anything like that. Places of note. There's this great temple. There's this person here, this noted historian. Anything that I want the players to know. I don't want them to stumble across it because they might not find it. So I put it behind skill checks as soon as they get there. Like I said, history, nature, blah 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 blah. They roll these numbers. Anybody in the group, if they get this threshold, I will throw the breadcrumb at that threshold, because the assumption of the group is we're not all big assholes, because pretty much like the number one rule at my table is don't be a jerk. No asshole policy. Everybody there, if we're sharing group roles like that when you first roll in, it's, I consider general group knowledge. You share this. Oh, I heard about this when I get here. I heard about this when I get here. If it's something I want the character to hold, or the player to decide if they want to hold on to, I will literally preface this one nugget of information. And this is usually on the super fucking high, how did you get that roll? And they're like, oh, I added literally every bonus I could. It will be like, hey, I'm going to tell you this, and it's up to you if you want to share it with the rest of the characters. I don't care if the other players know. I don't care. Everybody at the group, there's a very good player dynamic. Everybody honors the, oh, I don't know that. And we play into it sometimes. It's a lot of fun. But I would say 99% of the time, the players are like, I just tell the rest of the group. So they hit the threshold, I tell them that breadcrumb. And I have to say, since I've started doing that, the players have responded accordingly, and it's been everything that I want them to explore. They have explored. Have they gotten to every little thing that I told them about yet? No, but they bring it up. Like, have I literally, like, brought up in the preface schoolyard, or the schoolhouse with the Quixote Chili Philpotts guy? He's been brought up by numerous characters. Yeah, they've brought it up numerous times, but they're like, but we got this really juicy information like right when we woke up in the morning, so we're gonna go explore that. And me as a DM needs to go, yeah, fucking fair. That's if a crazy little ghost girl from The Grudge like spider crawled her way through shadows to like give me story information because I rolled well and played my spells well, and I did the RP part of an RPG. It would be really shitty of my dungeon master to not reward that, you know? I feel like that is... It's literally... it would be so shitty for me to be like, no, you have to go do these things that we talked about first. Like, no. Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't you immediately reward that? The party was like, if we had another hour of gameplay at the time, but we start late enough as is, like if we started at like 6:30 and we ended at 10, I think that would change things, but because of calendars and my schedule, we start at 7:30 for now. But I think if we just had that extra hour, we could have fit that whole tall man encounter into the other session. But as it is, we get about 2.5 hours each in, and about 20 minutes is for bullshittery, which should be expected, I think, for anybody. Even Critical Role and Dimension 20 has a lot of bullshit. And Dimension 20, like, we might adopt this at some point. Like, they pre-record all of their sessions and then upload them with a bunch of extra effects. And it's fantastic. It's fucking beautiful. But I do love the live stream aspect of it. We'll see. But anyway, with Braddock being gone, he went to this other guard captain place. So now I can literally give Mike, as a player, just private message him on our Discord server, on any of our other messenger apps, because we've been friends for fucking ever, but just say, hey, here's the information that you got while your character was taken to this place. Do with this what you will. And I'm going to send him this at least a day before the session, just so that he has time to ask me any questions, if he even has any questions. He might not. He might be like, cool, great, I'm going to decide what I want to do with this. But he might ask some clarifying questions. And that's what I should expect. That's why I give him a day of time to ask. He might just ask me before the session, because we start 5 minutes after the last person gets here. That's our general rule of thumb. And so he tries to get here closer to early than not, so that he knows. So if there's any questions he wants to ask, that's generally how most people will play it. I know Kenny showed up early one time just so that they could transfer notes from an item that they found, which was super helpful for everybody, including myself. But now I get to feed him information pertaining to, and I'm not going to tell them which until after the stream and I message them, I get to feed them deeper breadcrumbs about one of the story hooks that they were given once they pulled into town. And so now the party can still, and it might not rearrange any of their priorities, to be honest. It might not. But now it gives them better clarity on, okay, so now we know a little bit more about this breadcrumb, which can help us decide where to put it in the gotta take care of list or things are gonna get ugly. Sorry, the caffeine is taking over. Oh no, I just realized the music stopped. There we go. I'm just sitting here like, silence. Silence. So I think my iPad is charged enough to try and get through this tall man artwork. And maybe some other artworks, but we're going to stick on one artwork piece so we don't lose it. We're going to try and go through all the way. I'm sure after I do this artwork, Mike might... he might give us a little bit more clarity on how strongly he feels about not having fought this thing. But, something I might start doing is recreating a scene from our live streams during these art streams. I think that might be really fun, on top of maybe the first half will be... I think it'd be really cool. The first half will be some Black Feathers artwork, like we did that. If you go to the start of it, we did a whole, almost an entire comic book page, actually. That was really nice. Or at least we inked it. I still have to add like speed lines, color, all of the fucking letters, but the base ink stuff is down there, so I feel happy about that. And then the second half, we will draw either a monster or recreate a scene from our live stream that week. I think that would be fun. I'm working on slowly. It's going to be sometime during the summer. I don't know if I'm just going to record it like with audio, and then upload the audio with visuals drawn afterwards or what. But I'm going to start doing a second RPG stream at some point, but it might be non-fantasy or like weird system fantasy. I just want to try different systems while still doing our normal Runa based fantasy stuff, which might switch systems in and of itself on our Sunday stream. But without further ado, let's see if I don't mess up any audio-visual stuff here. Can we hear me? The music is playing and everything. All right, let's see. All right. Unplug that. Get this sucker plugged back in. Oh. Oh, it's a black screen because I have to open it. While that happens, though, we're gonna go back a chapter. We're gonna get a square ready. Now, why you do this? What do you, Oh, you mother effer, it just connected. Yeah, one moment please is right. So now why won't this work? There we go. Again, it's the good old reliable trick of turning it off and turning it back on. Alright, so the tall man. I hate this gray background that it always sets for this. So you guys are going to basically see my process from start to finish now. Sometimes I'll have a doodle, usually on like a sticky note. Or I'll get like those cheap little scrap pieces of paper from like the dollar store. Yeah, we're just gonna sit back and chill while we draw the tall man. Alright, now I'm going to put on animation assist like I told you guys about before. So now when I add a frame, I can draw over it like a little tracing layer. But first what I want to do is I'm going to drag this over and drop a full layer on top of that. Bloop you. Because I want... Just going to put a little marker here. Oh, it's too big. For eyes. And a smile, and that's going to be sitting on top of the body. So now I can't remember exactly what this is called, but it's just scribble sketching. I don't know how else to describe it. And that's why I like the technical pen, because it kind of lets me feel things out a little bit more. And I know we had a Dr. Facilier reference, but it's so funny you say that because this guy did have a very large... I think that's why you said it, but... A top hat. That's the brim. We can make them... Oh, that's right. He gave them his hat. That's what he did. They did make a deal with him because they it wasn't a top hat. It was a wide brimmed. Okay, so now I can think I can make his shoulders a little bit broader to make his weird gangly body look. Okay. Now I'm feeling good about getting a little bit more detail on here. No, I don't want any of your... Oh, stop. I don't want to talk about Arby's. So anyway, how about them Tigers, eh? Actually, I don't think we did. I think we did all right this year. Anyway, well, that's something to come back to. Oh no, I don't want to draw it on the smile. I said this was just completely shrouded in darkness. Oh, that's right. Blending tool. Give him some flair. Boy, this is some music to be playing during this, huh? Second best large feline named team in Detroit. Have a cinched in. Let's give it a little. Let's have it sticking out a little bedraggled looking. So those hands might look weird. I did describe them as having extra digits in the episode. Let's see. All right. From this, oh, we're gonna draw our guy. I'm actually gonna start here. I don't know if anybody saw I switched over to syrup. Yeah, he has that feeling about him. I didn't really intend on it, but that's how he's coming out. Let's make that just look a little dirty. Oh, he dusty. Let's try smoke for his head. I'm singing it in my head. Sorry. Hi, Dad. Because yeah, I'm singing it in my head. I don't need to get copyright struck, man. I don't need the mouse knocking on my door. So it doesn't really matter how this is arranged, but if I smudge it and go over to smoke, it should kind of smudge. Yeah. There we go. I want this really wispy because we're gonna bring back an old friend. It's a mystery tool for later. Where you at? Comic set? No, there's never was. Kirby Dots! Let's see if I can smudge with these Kirby dots at all. Yeah. Yep. Okay, we'll do that. Ugh. Maybe not that far in. Jesus Lord. Ooh, I like that. Kind of dissipating. Okay, so black shows up like black. What if we do it like purple black? Nope, still dark, so I have to tone it up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's all coming together. Alright, let's see if we can. Let's make this a really thin. I kind of like it scratchy. It's too dark still. Oh, yeah. Let's try this, though, with... Oh, no, I don't need my scribble frame on. Oh, yeah. Oh god, no. They need to have their own layer. Ah. Alright. What are we at? 202. Alright, we're gonna try and get at least the base colors down before I must depart. We're gonna do a little color fill trick. Whoops. Might have seemed really tedious, but now I should be able to just drag and drop this right in and fill it in. Poop, nice and easy. Okay, I think that's all that I have. Is this underneath that? Because I think I'm going to add a little bit of blue underneath here. Yeah, should we add the smile back in? Oh, geez, not like that, we're not. No, we gotta... Mm-mm. Technical. I don't think that is dark enough. Let's make it yellow. Now we're going to do what's called alpha lock, where it only affects the stuff that I've drawn on that layer. And I can just color it like a frickin' barbarian, and it's only going to affect... Wow, that's just coloring that. Cool, let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Where is Tinderbox? There it is. Put that in half. Actually, this is its own layer. We're just going to make the whole layer about half. But then you can't see it. It's cool. It's almost like it's coming out of the shadows itself, though. Yeah. But now that I've added the smile, I kind of want to make this a little bit bigger so I can fit everybody. I don't want everybody to be included. Okay, I'm happy with that part of it. Oh no. I want the smoke to look like it's kind of supernaturally contained. So I'm trying not to have it like bleed over, like even over the collar over here. Alright, so we got the skin. We're actually gonna drop. There we go. Actually, this can go farther back underneath. Oh, my coloring with Tinderbox, as much as I like that, oh yeah, I need it to be solid so I can do the color drop. Actually, here I can just kind of be a little... Ah! That means one of these lines isn't totally closed off. It's that one, I bet. There we go. Whew. All right. Blah. Blah, 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 blah. I can go back up here.
If you want to travel with your kid,
No.
but don't want to share your
I
kid's
never want to travel with my kid. Dylan's like, yeah, right. All right, this should fill. It's hard to tell with the lighter colors. Great, awesome, love it, love it. Okay, let's see here. If Dylan heard that, he's laughing right now. Because he knows how blatantly untrue it is. Whoa, what did I miss? Oh. There we go. me see. Damn it, what did I miss? There we go. Just gonna clean all that up now. Whew. All right, let's do a. What do we got here? A white hanky. All right, this is gonna die soon. We're gonna make it white, but what we're gonna do is we're going to alpha lock this, and I have. Where is it? Airbrush? No. Spray paint. Here we go. Splatter? What's going to splatter on there? Oh, jeez. It's a little big, ain't it? Alright. Now I need to... Man, I hope I got enough time before this dies on me. I don't want it to be Spider-Man colors. Is red and black a little too, like, a little too sassy? Actually, let's try this. No, we're not going to do a hidden layer. We're going to put the layer behind all the other colors. And then we're just going to color it that way. That's so stupid that that worked. But I need it just a little. Change that color, change that color. You know what though? Oh, I know what I was gonna do. Never mind, never mind. I got this. I have so much cleanup on this. Man, this guy looks like the worst tuxedo mask you've ever met. Alright, one last thing that I hope we have time to do is I'm going to plop this black background back on it, but we're going to do alpha lock on the line layer. Yeah, that's perfect, but I don't want that color. Nope, too yellow. And now, this, I'm going to drop some... Oh my. Oh my. Listen, I'm gonna try and get as much done as I can before this thing dies on me. But I mean, I think that looks pretty good. At least until I can get another stream up to add more after this charges. Ooh, but you know what? I don't like this. Skin. It's purple. Actually, I kind of want it like... That makes him look a little devilish. I don't know. And like, he's not a devil. What if I did like... There we go. All right, for now, we're going to call that good because I don't want this to die on me because sometimes it doesn't save like the last few details if it dies on you while you're drawing. So I'm going to put my little... Oh God, you can't see it. I like to hide it. Okay. Oh, you know what I am going to try to do? I don't mind if this doesn't make it. Is I am gonna try to... Damn it. Alpha lock, there we go. I want these to be visible. There it goes. Oh man. Okay, good. I'm happy with that. Let me see if I can get that charged up to at least show off what's going on before I have to leave to get Dellen. Sometimes if you go like all the way, go all the way. Sometimes if... Okay, it's turning right back on, so we'll see if I can get like 2% so we can show that off again, but that's the tall man. That was nice, that was fun, that was relaxing. I honestly was like, please let me just get these lines in. 3%. Ooh. Okay, we're gonna wait till it gets to 5, and then I'm gonna put it on so we can appreciate it one more time. Any last minute shout outs you guys want to do before we go? Let me, we always have Into the Runiverse at 7:30. As well as, man, alright. I'm really gonna try to... Oh, it got the buckles. Nice. It got almost all the buckles. Come on. Come on, you bastard. It's really trying, guys. Whenever I get on here next, it might be this weekend, it might be next week. I'm gonna try and... I want to finish this live. That'd be fun, but if I don't get to, it'll be uploaded on my socials as well. Oh, good. It's ready. I have a feeling... Hold on. Let me just get this colored before I unplug it and plug it back in, because I have a feeling it's not actually going to last that long. Give us one more, baby. There we go. There we go. No, you got it. You got it. I believe in you, Game Capture. This thing is so old. There we go. So, before we go, before it dies again, thank you guys. Here is our tall man drawing. I will try and finish it with us all here. If not, I will upload it to my socials. Thank you guys so much. It is OTL Rook everywhere. If you go to the link tree down there, it should take you to every place possible that you would need to go. Connected to my stuff. If you have not followed or subscribed on whatever you're on yet, that would be awesome if you did. I appreciate everybody who stopped by for stopping by, and if you catch this after, I appreciate you coming in and checking out our artwork after that. The tall man wants to say bye-bye, and him and I are going to have some good old big Shadowfell vibes, yeah. Like this guy a lot. So I'm going to keep on this artwork. It's actually probably not that far away from being done. And I will catch you guys next time. See you soon. Bye.